Hello, everyone. Good evening to you, or good day to you, depending on when you are seeing this. This is Roger with Grubus Games Unlimited, and a huge and warm welcome to this quite excellent Dungeon Crusade video update we have for you. Guys, this is a great one. I'm excited to get to this. I've been working hard on this update, and it's going to be a real fun one. And so let's get going. First of all, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. It's the weekend right now. It's Saturday evening when I'm recording this, so I hope you're having a great Saturday night when you see this, or if you see it Sunday. I hope you're enjoying summer. And as always, I love hanging out with you guys. And truly, I hope you're doing really good. New subscribers to the channel, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It helps out the channel. And if you're new here, just checking this out, consider about subscribing. Just click the subscribe, and definitely with what's coming up in the next few months, you will be instantly notified of all the videos you're going to see from the manufacturer, the photos, my updates, and just everything. So if you would consider subscribing, I'd be very grateful to you, and throw a like on the video if you do like this. So anyway, let's get going with this. We have so much to talk about. Here is the little poster I put together. It's our, June 17th. And real quick over here, this is an ancient horror, level 4 champion monsters. As you may know, with champion monsters, there's elite and normal versions of each monster. So this is a level 4 champion monster, ancient horror. And over here is our rogue, Palum Ganamor, and she's the rogue hero. And a bunch of other heroes and monsters here. And believe me, there's tons and tons of monsters and heroes in the game. So I just wanted to show you that. And as we always look at a few of these here. So this one took a while to put together. So let's do this. I have our poster here with our beautiful shadow servants here. And these are minions in the game. Normal versions and elite. So I'll tell you what, let's just get right into this because we have a lot to talk about. I think you're really going to enjoy this. And we're just going to run down real quick and we'll go back to the top, okay? Starting off, the big news, and I'm so happy to the manufacturer, me, everyone, I'm so happy to say this. In case you haven't heard this yet, I put it out, I shut my mouth off about this a few days ago because I was so excited. Mass production begins June 26, 2023. Yes, in just, a week and a half time. This is set in stone. Nothing's going to change. It is June 26th. Dungeon Crusade is going to be mass-produced, printed, however you want to say it. I'm very happy to say that. So we're going to keep going real quick, but we'll go back to each one. Pledge Manager closes June 25th, 2023, night before. When does it close? 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Want to throw that in there? We're going to come back. We'll have videos and photos of the game printing like I did before. Kyra is going to be sending me stuff. We'll come back to that. Late pledging is still available. The Pledge Manager is open. We're going to talk about that. The Dungeon Crusade, I say special edition of the Dungeon Crusade Kickstarter update. I'm going to try to have that out tomorrow for everyone, of course, because the game's will be printed and we want to let everyone know the great news. So that is forthcoming. I should have that out tomorrow night. If not, it might be earlier, but tomorrow night I'm shooting for that. We'll be doing the last of the promotions, and I'll be honest with you, I wanted to hold off on the promotions until we had that concrete date. So some awesome YouTubers and friends are going to help promote that for us, which of course we're grateful for. Games will ship this summer. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to end with something kind of I thought would be cool to do with you, to hang out with. We're going to look at some promo posters of the game from a while back. And I think that maybe you don't know a lot about some of the stuffs in the game, so we'll have fun looking at a bunch of promo posters. So it is a full schedule. So let's get started with the big news. Mass production begins June 26th. And so let's flip over to look at the games. These are the production copies. So here's what's going on. We finished verifying all the files a while back with Kyra, our excellent production manager. Truly excellent. All the files have been confirmed, guys. We're done with that. And to be honest with you, I said, could we start printing the game on June 22nd, June 23rd? And I was reminded that it is their Dragon Boat Festival there. So, of course, we have to respect that. So on those dates, they're going to be off, because of the Dragon Boat Festival. And I love China and Japan, both of those places. Love Sweden too. But I just love the culture there, love the people there. So it's something really cool that they do. So if you want to take a look at what the Dragon Boat Festival is, so that's going to be going, and of course I'm not going to, be respecting that. So Kyra talked it over with her team and the manufacturer. So June 26th, set in stone, right here. That's not changing. That's going to be it. We're done. I'm just happy, guys, to get this game to you. I really am, because I'm working on the random dungeon generator mode and this chapter 1 game of Dungeon Crusade. So really, I mean, just speaking from the heart, I mean, I tell you guys everything. I'm just, as I said, I'm happy to close the book on book 1, Genesis of Evil, because we perfected everything, the revised rule book, all of that stuff that we've talked about. That will be in the Kickstarter update. We're going to go over that again. But I worked really hard on this with Ilpo. He was the editor on the new revised rulebook. Everything was addressed, perfected, and honed. So mass production June 26. Okay, so I'll tell you that, and of course, we'll get to that in a second. Pledge Manager closes on June 25th, and I have all these little screens up so I remember. Yes, the Pledge Manager will be closing on June 25th, 2023. I live here in the States, so 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when that will be shut down. So again, if you're thinking about pledging, or maybe you have to finish up, maybe we get an add-ons, don't worry, you still have plenty of time. But I definitely wanted to let you know that it is getting shut down at that time. You will not be able to pre-order a copy of the game after that. We are, of course, going to have extra copies and add-ons, but I want to let you know, and I've said it before, when we got the initial shipment, a few years back, whenever that was, the add-ons sold out in 3 weeks. That it's just everyone bought up the add-ons. So we're going to have a good stock, but I want to let you know, if you want a copy of the game, and you know how these games go, they could sell out, or there could be a few, however. But I just want to be very candid with you and let you know that, okay? So, that is going to be closing then. So link in the description and the comment section if you want to check that out. If you need anything, of course, just let me know. In that last update, we went over each edition of the game and all the add-ons. So if you need anything, I'm here for you. Please let me know. So we talked about that. Trying to be speedy, but I want to, of course, I love hanging out with you guys and giving you all up-to-date information about what's going on. Videos and photos of the game printing. Yes, I'm going to tell you now, Kyra is gonna bomb me with videos and photos of the game. Now, I want to show you these, but I want to make sure I say this. These are not the current ones. Don't want to mislead anyone. And I think I've showed these before, but I have a few more. These are from the first print run. So this is what you can expect. I'm going to have videos for you as soon as I receive them. You guys are the first to know, and that you're important to me. Just your support and your friendship, your excitement. I want you to see this immediately. So you'll be seeing like these videos and photos that I'll get from Kyra directly after immediately. So you can expect that. I will be on that for you. And then here's one. I don't know if I showed this before. This is one of the trucks that one of the production managers sent me before of all the games, and one of the trucks here shipping out. I thought that was cool. And again, I just want to say this was from before. This is not now. I don't want to mislead anyone, but I just thought I'd like to show you what you can expect. Even this level here, this is of course, from a while ago. The printing of the game is completed. I'll be showing you stuff like this. These are all the dungeon boards that were printed, and then they had to cut them down. And then here's some tower attack games. Me love tower attack. That's the Ogre Chieftain, level 4 champion monster there. You know me, I always gotta throw something funny in there. So like that, it'll be just like the shipping update, and I'll get that information right to you guys. So kind of cool to see all that. It's like, I'll be honest with you, when I just saw this, the Wall of Crusade, I called it, I was like very grateful to everyone, to be honest with you. I was happy for you guys who are looking forward to the game, and like now, I'm super excited, and just to get the game to you and chat with you and help you out with gameplay questions, whatever you want. So I just thought I'd show you these past photos of that, okay? And please forgive me, my video recorder stopped on that, so sorry. But I just wanted to show you that's what you can expect. We'll be hanging out and I'll show you all the progress that's being made. And I couldn't find it, but there was a little video they sent me of the big machine of how the game was being printed. It was like 30 seconds or something. And I'm sorry I don't have that, but you will have it, anytime I get it. Okay, so we talked about that. Video and photos of the game printing. We can look forward to that. Like I said, late pledging is still available. I know I mentioned that here. Pledge Manager is open. It will be closing on the 25th, but I just wanted to let you know that it is active. There were some people that were emailing me. I was very grateful for their interest in the game. And I said, yes, this Pledge Manager is open. Take a look, but of course, look over the game, watch some videos. Make sure it's something for you. It is a different experience, a very creative, different experience, and that's what I was out to do for you guys. Just give you something new, and that's something, kind of left of center, but in a very good way. So I just wanted to mention, yes, the late pledging is available until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, June 25th. Okay, so we talked about late pledging. Dungeon Crusade Kickstarter update. That's the special edition, as I call it. I'm going to have that out tomorrow night. I want to get that done because there's people who maybe don't watch the channel, so we want to get that out because that update hits a lot of people, and we can let them know all the great news that on June 26th, that's when the printing of the game begins. And I'll be honest with you, I was thinking about tonight, I'm going to not use the two characters here, but I think I'm just going to use this poster for the new, or for the upcoming update. I think it came out pretty nice. I put it together, so I'll probably just slap a, Kickstarter update, what is it, number 22. I'll just put that on the bottom there, and we'll just use that. I think that looks pretty nice, pretty classy. So, we will, and as always, I'll do a video Kickstarter update for you guys. Hang out. And that's so you can expect this update tomorrow evening. So I'm going to do some crunch time and get that out for everyone. So that is on the way. Last of the promotions. And like I was chatting about, there's some awesome YouTubers, friends, and some game groups. We'll be doing the last of the promotion. And, that's why I wanted to wait. I was, the manufacturer, we love them, but, they were delayed with some stuff. I wanted to wait to do to do the promotions until we had that date in concrete, which it is, June 26th. Now I feel more comfortable putting it out there because it's set in stone. That's when it's happening. And I just grabbed some of the posters here, some old posters here for the promotion. And I thought this was an interesting one. I made this if you can follow this, I'll probably have to zoom in, but I made this a few years back, and I tried to show everything you can do in this open world dungeon crawl game. So maybe we'll take a quick look at this. But this is just all of the stuff that's in the game. There's lockpicking, rallying heroes. You have Albus, your fetch hound. There's traps in the game. There's the all the dungeon boards measure 3 by 2 feet. There's crafting and mining in the game. There's minions. There's treasure chests. Finding quest items, the crate system, all that. So I thought it was kind of a unique poster, and I thought I'd just share that with you. I hope you like that. And so that's going back to this. We'll be doing the last promotions of the game, so we can look out on that. And mostly, too, I want to let people know who have the previous edition of the game that we have that Crusader upgrade pack that has the revised rulebook, some updated material, some new content. I want to make sure that they're taken care of. They were kind of like the initial original Crusaders, and you guys and them are like extended family. So I want to make sure we get that promotion out and let them know, hey, I made sure you were taken care of with your game. So that is coming. And the big thing, another thing, games will ship this summer. Jeff works for a transportation company, and they actually handled League of Dungeoneers, oddly enough. They handled that. Jeff is our shipping manager. Awesome guy, huge fan of the game, and he does not live far from me, which is really cool. So Jeff will be handling all the shipping for the game. But I want to tell you something that's kind of cool. That the warehouse, when Jeff, brings all the games into his company, he invited me to the warehouse, and the warehouse is like 25, 30 minutes from me. So you're going to have like a field report with yours truly, Roger the Crusader, at the warehouse, and I'll be doing some videos of all the games there, and I think that will be very just neat to share with you, and you could see all the games right there at the warehouse. So Jeff, thank you for that. And he is going to be in touch with Kyra, and they're going to get all the logistics and the measurements and the weights and all that kind of stuff. And Jeff is he's just tremendous. So you'll be hearing a lot about Jeff. And you know what? I'm going to jump back because I want to say something about the Pledge Manager. But the games will ship this summer. What we're saying now is July, August, probably into September. But we will have, or Jeff will have, a concrete date, August 5th or, July 30th or whatever it is. So you will have, as soon as Jeff gives it to me, you will have that information. But you may even get an email from them. They're an excellent company. And like I said, they handled League of Dungeoneers fulfillment here in the States. So that is what's going on. But Jeff is an awesome guy, so I did want to just give him the spotlight and let you know he is on board to take care of that. But that's what I wanted to go back, and I'm glad I caught that, about the Pledge Manager. And please listen to me on this. If you listen to anything in this update, please make sure that in your Pledge Manager that you have your email. Okay, because that's how you're going to get your tracking info from Jeff and his team. If your email is not in your Pledge Manager order, you won't be getting a tracking number. And I'm sure you want your tracking numbers. And there's some kind of option, and I can't remember where it's at, but please look at this. And maybe someone put it in the comments section. There's a checkbox on your order somewhere that says something to the extent of check this if you don't want updates, and you definitely want updates. Make sure that box is checked. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's been a while, and all this Crusade stuff in my head, but that's what I want to make sure of. Make sure your email is in your order. That's how you're going to get your tracking info from Jeff and his team. Okay. I think that was it for that. So I just wanted to make sure, because I'm going to load up some of these promo posters, and we'll have our grand finale, and we'll hang out and take a look at this stuff. I think you'll enjoy seeing some of these. I don't think you've probably seen a lot of them. So I think it's cool to show this in this particular update, and just making sure I got everything for you, and I think I did. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to load up a bunch of photos. We'll look at that, and then we'll wrap everything up. Be right back. Okay, I am ready. I'm really excited about this. I don't think we've really done anything like this. So, without further ado, let's get going. And we got a lot of photos. I hope you'll enjoy this. So let's just take a look at a bunch of stuff, and we'll go over it quickly. Here is all the dice you get with Dungeon Crusade. And you know what? I wanted to bring this up first because I think I'm going to be doing a video in the very near future. I want to go over, I want to get the whole thing here, but one of the big things I wanted to accomplish with this game was true party building. There's, in these games, I think, to me, that's paramount, when you can group heroes together. So the 6 warfare types here do just that. And think of these as fighting styles. There's physical warfare, ranged warfare, arcane warfare, mythical warfare, spiritual warfare, and chaos warfare. And these are the dice you use when you're combating monsters. So I just want to show that. But this system right here that I developed, I am definitely going to do this video. I think that this gets sometimes lost because there's so much in this game. And this is one of the big things that, to me, that was paramount to accomplish for people, is real party building. So just know I decided to show you this. Of course, you get all these dice here for doing different skill checks and all that. There's a patrol route die. So expect a video where we can just talk in depth about the warfare types. And I think you'll really enjoy this. And it's one of the big parts of the game. And to learn this, it will help you be victorious in the game, sort of. Because you never know what lies in chambers and stuff like that. So we're going to come back to that, but I just wanted to show you that. Moving right along, the monsters in the game. This is actually how you're going to set your game up. There's minion monsters, levels 1 through 3, champion monsters, level 1 through 4, and then the guardians. So real quick, there are normal and elite minions in the game, tons of minions in the game. There are, like I said, 4 levels of champions. There's normal versions and elite champions. There's tons of monsters in this game. Finally, the 8 guardians in the game. And just like the heroes, the guardians level up. And think of guardians as the bosses of the dungeon. And there's 8 of them I created. I'm going to try to name them all right now. Lord Blackhand, Banevic, Red Widow, Nefarion, Horus, Razorfang, Dreadthorn, and there's one more. Oh my gosh, I should know this. Anyway, there's 8. It's going to kill me now. I'm going to come back. I'm going to think of it. But yeah, there's 8 guardians in the game. And the cool thing is, I didn't just copy when I created their special abilities. As they level up, they get new and more powerful ones. So you're not going to, it would have been lame just to keep, what Banevic has, ground smash, I think at level 2. So it does. You don't see that again. You'll see something new. He'll have new things as he levels up. So there's a little on that. What's bugging me was that last guardian. Sorry, I'm going to come back. That's going to bug me. Fetchhound. This is Albus. Anyone knows me, I love dogs. So Albus is your link to the village when your heroes are in the dungeon doing their quest. He can bring back, and Albus can be leveled up to level 3. He can bring back healing potion, torches, weapons. He could take the precious stones and minerals and have the blacksmith create power gems for your hero's socketed weapons. So Albus is your hero's fetchhound. When they are in the dungeon, you send him back to the village. Very cool, unique. Probably you heard the story of Albus, a very unique story of how Albus ended up in the game. The ultimate and risk and reward, the treasure chest deck. There's 30 unique treasure chest card, and like this, you never know. You could get Minora's Gift, one of the worst ones in the game, or your heroes can find gold or a bunch of other stuff. And these are the tokens here when you start the game. It's always, everything is random in this game. Everything is randomly generated each time you play. 10 treasure chests. Hero lands on one, draw a card. Simple as that. Encounter. I wrote 87. Actually, I wrote 120 encounters for the game, but then we had to cut some of it down because the game was just, it's massive. So there's 87 encounters. You create an encounter deck each game, always randomly generated. And for encounters, there are environment cards, challenges. I loved writing all of this stuff. Challenges, where you select a hero and they have to do a challenge. There's events, and then there's ones called interludes. And interludes are just kind of like a breather. You use it to throttle the encounter deck. So that's a little bit, and I want to make mention that don't think the encounter deck is bad. It's quite the opposite. There's good stuff and there's bad stuff in the encounter deck. You never know what's going to happen during the encounter phase. Again, I hope you're enjoying going over this, guys. I'm just happy. I'm happy this game is going to print. I'm happy you're going to have it. I'm just looking forward to talking to you guys about it, answering questions. So it's all good. I'm very happy to be hanging out with you. This is part of the Dungeon UI board. This is the raid difficulty, and I've talked about this before, but there's minions in the game, and they can convert. They start out in the dungeon. When they spawn into the dungeon, they are vagrant minions. They're just wandering through their home. But there's a few things they could convert into raiding minions, and you put little raid tokens on them, and they're going to head out of the dungeon and raid the village, thus raising the terror level. The terror level ever gets to the end, you've lost. And there's some other stuff too. So that's a little thing about that. Over here is the minion population. And guys, you can populate your dungeon with as many minions as you want. So this kind of keeps track of it. There's ways that this can go down, this can go up, but you can set this to whatever you like. This game is probably one of the most customizable dungeon crawls out there. I wanted to make sure people could tweak everything in the game. So that's what that is. And especially with the new way minions are, you can literally load it up with 18 minions because combat is super fast now with minions in the game. Quest tables. Each quest table has a main quest, side quest, and kill the guardians. This is an elder globe. While the quests are active, this glows red. Kill the guardians, very simple. How many guardians would we want in our dungeon? You could have one guardian, you could have 2, 3, 4, you could have all 8 if you want, if you really want a challenge. So that's what kill the guardians is. So once you say you complete your main quest, your side quest, kill the guardians, each time you complete it, here's the next one, you flip it, the token over to like the closed book. Those are cleared. Notice now the elder globe is glowing green. So once you complete those quests, elder globe is green. The heroes are teleported to the village for Celebration Day. That's when they turn in their quests. Villagers throw a grand festival for them, and we're going to be looking at that actually right here. So Celebration Day gift. The villagers very happy that you did this for them. And, you cleared the dungeon, you saved their village, so you get to draw from the Celebration Day deck. And I already know there's people that, sometimes the villagers will just say a big thank you. And you're like, wait a minute, I just saved your freaking village, and you're going to give me a big thank you? Or they could give you each hero a loaf of harvest bread. And I'm not going to tell you what that is. Well, it already says right there, you'll see it. But you can restore 2 health and 2 essence. Trust me, there's some very awesome things where the villagers could be very generous to your heroes and give them some very cool stuff. Okay, so that's a little about that. Your heroes can have afflictions in the game. Bleeding, blurred sight, confusion, poison, feared. And very simple to understand. Like, you're bleeding, you got to lose 1 health at the start of the upkeep phase. Basically at the top of a turn, confusion, unable to use special abilities. Very easy stuff to understand. And like I've said many times, yes, Dungeon Crusade is massive, but guys, I don't like complex things. It's very easy. There's just a lot of stuff in the game. But that's where the fun lies, is in the strategy, the planning, the tactics, and what's going to happen in the dungeon. Like I've said, I'm the creator of this game. I have no idea when I play what's going to happen. I have always loved games like that. Like, I don't want to know what happens. Hit me with whatever you got. It's like this dungeon is a giant machine with different wheels and gears and cogs all spinning and spitting out different things. I love that kind of stuff. That is the kind of games I want to make for people and for me. I love that kind of stuff. I don't like crack it and rack it games, meaning, once you beat it, you're done with it. So as long as I'm making games, they'll always be highly replayable and, very creative, and things where you don't know what's going to happen next. And like I said, everything, the dungeon board is static, but everything, and I mean every single thing, every piece of game content is randomly generated. So you could play the same scenario over and over and over again, same difficulty, same everything, and the game will always change. So, wanted to make mention of that. Secret rooms. There are secret rooms in Dungeon Crusade. See those little tokens there? When your hero has to discover a secret room, it's with a D20. And they have to test their willpower, I believe. So if they can discover it, then they got to pick the lock, which we're going to look at. And then they could find a desolate chamber, or they could find a treasure chamber. So there's secret rooms in Dungeon Crusade. And this is something I have to say I really, even not being glowy, and I've just talked to other people, this is the lock picking system in the game. And there's 12 different locks. Notice when I was working with this young girl named Annika from Germany, just incredible artist and just amazing friend. And I said, can you paint me like the inside of tumblers on a lock? I was very descriptive of how I wanted things, and she did an awesome job. So you notice there's like a pick that, like kind of pushing those up. Well, what you do is you take these colored dice and notice those numbers there. So on this, you would have 4 attempts to meet or exceed those numbers. So say we rolled the dice and there was a 1 on the green and blue, and then a 6 on the red. Okay, we could set that aside. That's 1 attempt. We'd have 3 left. So on and so forth. It's a very fun, easy lock lock-picking system. Also, on your hero card, you have a lock-picking skill. So Paloom's our rogue. It's good that she's there. She has a +2 at level 1 to lock-picking. That means you could add 2 to the attempt. So you'd have 6 attempts to try to pick this lock for... the system uses it for the treasure chest in the game. Some of the treasure chests, not the treasure chest deck, but other treasure chests, secret rooms, of course, and a few other things. So there is the lock-picking system. I think you'll really enjoy that. And mystery chambers. I remember DJ Sinclair. Here's a quick story down Crusade memory lane. I have to talk to GJ about this. He posted it in the Dungeon Crusaders group a while back. He went into a mystery chamber, and I don't want to... Well, I don't want to give you spoilers. I'll just say something very bad happened and wiped out 3 of his heroes from what was in there. Guys, I'm telling you, you will never know. I got very creative with what's on the other side. You basically have your heroes, hero go in, rally a few heroes, and you reveal it. So there could be something good. There could be something very whimsical. You never know what's in a mystery chamber. I love those things. And trap deck. Here, yes, there's traps. They're optional. Think of it like a little switch. You could either have traps or not have traps in Dungeon Crusade. Dean Spencer, an amazing artist from England. This is called line art, and I visualized this exactly what Dean created for the game. So he actually threw a few of his ideas in for the trap. So you get 17 unique trap cards. And notice here, real quickly, there's 10. This is a triggered trap. There's 10 of those and 10 like free ones where you didn't trigger a trap. You flip over, you take, say there's 11 traps in the dungeon, okay? You're going to have 20, 10 and 10. Turn it over to this side, shuffle them, and you're going to place those. You can't reveal them on all the little icons on the floor for the trap system. So when your hero lands on one, you got to flip it over. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. Again, random. You never know what trap will be where, but I think you'll enjoy the traps in the game if you can enjoy traps. And what we got here, we have mining and crafting. Your hero has to get a pickaxe, and when I created this, notice there's a little card clip that there's a chance it could degrade because your hero is striking the ground. But these are just some of the precious stones right here: Zultanite, ruby stone, moonstone, amethyst, and they follow those all the warfare types. So like jade is green, iolite is blue, so on and so forth. So there is mining and crafting in the game. Real simple system and very fun. Okay, I had to load up some new pictures to show you. Are you getting the idea? There's a lot in this game. There's, trust me, more. But again, I hope you're enjoying just hanging out, chilling, going over what some of the stuff in Dungeon Crusade. So let us continue with Tavern Tasks. In the story I wrote for Dungeon Crusade, these are some of the characters over here. And actually, there's a brand new Tavern Task I created with the help of DJ from the Dungeon Dive. That I called it The Trouble with Traps. And really, DJ is the one who kind of sparked my idea to do this. He was saying, we were like discussing the game, and he said there should be an incentive for springing traps. And I agree. I said that's actually a really good idea. You should get some life force. Notice here, these are the green tokens. Life force equals XP. You use life force to level up. So I wanted to have something called life force. And so I talked to him more about it, and so I created a new tavern task called The Trouble with Traps. So if your hero disables traps, you get I think to a maximum of 10, you get 2 life force and 100 gold. And so I wrote a little story about it with one of the characters. So that's actually new to Dungeon Crusade. And tavern tasks are optional. What you do is at the start of the game, you shuffle up the deck. There's 7 now. Actually, I didn't show that one, but they're fun little quests. You don't have to complete them. You can totally disregard them, but they'll just net you some life force, extra gold, maybe a special item, something like that. So you just select one at the top, at the beginning of a game, and you can complete it anytime. There's no penalty if you don't. So tavern tasks. and I'm going to glow about Freddie Lopez, the amazing artist Freddie Lopez. So there's blessings in the game, and these are just, they're just very unique. But I pictured these angels in the game, these like, I don't know, female angels, light armor, beautiful wings, and stained glass. And Freddie Lopez is just, he did all the monsters and heroes of the game and so much more. I worked on the art, the cover box. That image was in my head since I was a teenager. He's just an amazing friend, an amazing artist. So these are just a few of the angels in the blessing deck. When you're at Celebration Day or at the start of the game during your shopping phase, you can visit the temple in the village and buy a blessing for 200. And sometimes your prayers aren't answered, guys, and it's just part of Dungeon Crusade. I'll just leave that there, but these are just a few. This is the Angel of Swiftness. And just when you see this in person, it's like Freddie's art is just, I just love it. I mean, he really gave this game an identity. Like there's Zeke, the wizard, and here's the angels here. But his art, it just gave the game character. You know what I mean? Like it gave it an identity, which I think is sometimes hard to do, and he did it. But this is the Angel of Healing, Angel of Swiftness, and real easy. Like if you got, and there's different variations of these angels. Some of them are even more powerful. But so for Angel of Swiftness here, if she's giving you a blessing, +3 to base movement. And then this other one, Angel of Healing, she will heal you. So there you go. There's blessings in the game. And this is, the House of Chance here. Oh, here's our Barbarian Maheliac. Yes, as you know, there's the House of Chance with Tower Attack, Skulljack, The Adventures of Bravely the Knight, and Heroes versus Monsters. So you can go on Celebration Day and play one, not all four, one randomly selected game. So there's like kind of a gambling hall in the village. And that's where it is. There's the terror track or terror level. Like I said, there's different things. If your hero perishes, you're going to move the terror track up by 1. If a minion escapes and raids the village, you're going to move it up by 1. If a hex is placed on the village, you don't want a hex placed on the village. You've got to move it up. So it was cool to show you this right here. The skull defeated. That means, of course, you lost the scenario and you have to replay it. And I have to, I got to find a picture of the scenario pages. That came up with a very unique scenario system where you could tweak every option to your heart's content and create the game session you want. Okay, moving right along. A look at our village board. Here is the blacksmith shop with some items for sale. And there's 9 different rarities in the game. Over 193 pieces of loot. So I think the next poster is that, or it's coming up here, but we'll talk about the loot in the game. Yeah, it's going to be coming up in a few. But this is the blacksmith shop where your heroes can browse, and there's like cards under this too. So just picture you walk into a medieval shop and there's all this stuff in the wall and everywhere. So you can sift through here and find what you would like to equip your hero with. Moving right along, this is the Academy. Some of the hero's special ability cards. I created 3 unique special abilities for each hero, and each one could be leveled up to level 3. That was a lot of work, but fun work. So, and I gave, a lot of the abilities are very unique to the heroes, and that. So there is that. A look at the Academy, and this is our archer hero here, Edwin Shadowleaf. So she's visiting the Academy to pick up a new archer special ability. And here is what we'll talk about. That is one massive deck of loot. I love loot. I am a Diablo freak. Have not played before anyone else. I have not played Diablo 4. I am waiting because I would like to get a PlayStation 5. I don't have one yet. And I want to play that on one of the new consoles. I'm excited for it, and I've played the very first. I still play the very first one. I think it's still awesome after all these years. It's very roguelike. But I love Diablo, so how much loot's in Diablo, so I wanted to bring that into Dungeon Crusade. 193 pieces of unique loot and over 9 rarities. And starting off, there's junk loot in the game. Yes, your heroes can find junk in the dungeon. They're not guaranteed to find the Axe of 1,000 Deaths or Shield of St. Viticus or the Helm of the Destroyer. There's actually junk loot. Then there's your hero's starting weapons they start with, and then there's white common items in the deck. There are uncommon green equipment. There is blue rare, purple epic, orange legendary, and then there's fabled gear. I don't think I have a picture of that. Fabled gear is some of the most powerful loot in the game, and it belonged to the characters I wrote in Dungeon Crusade. A little pricey, but it's pretty powerful. And then I think I have a poster coming up of this, Underworld Artifacts, the most controversial thing in Dungeon Crusade. There's only 6 of them. They were forged in the Underworld, and your hero could perish by wielding one of these. And you have to feed Underworld Artifacts, it's black level, life force, 1 life force to charge it up. So I wanted to put that in the game, like, to have people think, okay, you could wield, like, these things do like 6 damage if you hit, and you could dual wield these, so you could do a potential 12 damage with Underworld Artifacts. And I wanted to put it in people's heads, so these are evil. You're taking life force that you got from doing something good, and you're feeding into this evil thing that you want because you want power. But this thing could kill your hero. But when you're faced with that level 4 Guardian, do you use that Underworld Artifact? It's always fun to discuss that. So let me find a poster of that, and we'll talk about that. Again, I hope you're enjoying this extended update going over this. I'm having a good time just showing you all this, but most importantly, maybe you didn't know any of this was in the game, so it's all good. Moving right along. One of my favorite things is crates. And really, a tip of the hat to Diablo. You know, in Diablo, you could smash open those crates and barrels and all that stuff. So I created these crates. There's tons of different crates, good and bad. Like here, well, right here, Sir Brennus, our Knight Hero, smashed open a crate, and he found a Black Rock Viper, 1d6 damage. See, real easy stuff, guys. There's nothing complex about it. Take a d6. The Viper bit him. Then it slithered away, and he got that much damage. Or he could find 500 gold. So tons and tons of different things in the crate. And this is the champion monster deck. So real quickly, there is, champion monsters in the game. Champion monsters reside in the chambers of the dungeon. Okay, know this. These are the champion monster tokens. But I wanted to throw. Actually, I developed this, and I didn't tell anyone till the last minute, hey, by the way, there's dual monster chambers in the game. What happens is, and I'd recommend taking these out, there's 2 in each of the decks. And what happens is, when your heroes enter into a chamber, and usually there's quest items that your heroes need to get from the chamber. So, like I said, I would recommend there's 2 of these dual monster chambers in each deck. For your first few games, I would definitely take these things out. So what happens is, when you draw a champion monster to see what's in there, if you get this, your heroes don't, or your hero, your solo hero or heroes don't just fight 1 champion monster, they have to fight 2, and it says it right there on the card. So, little teaser here, you could find a massive Viper, and notice the gold star. That's what I was talking about. There's normal and elite. If you see a gold star, you've encountered an elite champion monster. If it's silver, it's normal. A normal version. Elites have the special abilities here, and then normal versions are the origin stories that I wrote for that monster. I wrote origin stories for all the monsters in the game, and just like real nice, a few sentences, paragraph to, just get you immersed in the game. And as you can probably tell, I was very passionate to really flesh out this game world and the lore. So that's what that is. So now that I explained that, let's just go up. We'll take another look. Here's a level 2. And notice something as the skulls get... And actually, Freddie Lopez, he did the skulls for these. So they get more evil, as you'll see as we're going to go up. So here's level 2. Sorry, that's kind of fuzzy. Keeper of the Faith, Elite. And then moving right up, here is an Elder Priest. Notice very evil-looking dual monster chamber card. And then finally, there is the level 4, actually, it was in the poster, an Ancient Horror, and just crazy, evil, blood, yuck, all that stuff for the dual monster chamber. Okay, so I'll tell you what, let me load up some more pictures. I hope you're enjoying all this, and maybe you're learning more about the game, so give me a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, and what an image, right? I just thought, since we talked about underworld artifacts, and it really is kind of a controversial thing in the game, and people have talked about it, and it's definitely a unique feature. I just thought, why don't we just chat about it, hang out, and guys, I'm just feeling good, and I hope you're enjoying all of this. But let's talk about underworld artifacts. Like I said, these are black level, a black level, like for in the rarity, the most deadliest things of the game. And this was an old promo poster, so I just grabbed it real quick. But I'm going to show you one of the finished cards. This was not done yet. This was years ago. But I put would one defile purity for a chance to gain unholy power. And what it meant is, like what I said, you have to feed these things life force, in order to kind of power them up to use them. And it's just a very cool part of the game. So we'll go over these real quick. I'll tell you a quick story about Charlene, one of the tech writers, when I wrote the stories for these, that I really had to tone it down because these are very evil, wicked things. And I had one line. I wrote flavor text for all the pieces of loot in the game, and when it came to these, well, I'll get to it in a second. But anyway, here's the Hellforged Blade. Notice physical warfare, and that in the word hate. The Bow of Demonic Souls, ranged warfare, agony. And then the Grand Staff of the Undead, arcane warfare, soulless. Sacrificial Dagger, lust. And I'm lust, mythical warfare. Sean Ellis and Kez were the ones who I gave them my like prototype stuff, crappy stuff, and said, okay, create what you think this will look like. And they just, well, you can see what these freaking weapons look like. They look hellacious. They're perfect. So lust. I just wanted to give a shout out to those artists. All these artists are like from another world. They just what they can do. Very crazy one. Mace of the Blood Gods, Slay, spiritual warfare, and then finally, I know Kez did that one and she did this. Axe of the Black Angel, chaos warfare. And the word malice. So, I had all these titles for what these were, and I said, okay, just go to town, whatever you think that would be. And they sure did that. So, like I said, there's 6 of them, and here's quickly how they're used. This is like what you're going to get in the game. This is Mace of the Blood Gods. There's that black gem there. So notice it's a weapon. So when you equip it, it's a weapon. It's only 1 life force. You have to feed this before you even wield this thing. You equip it, and then you have to declare, okay, I'm going to fight this monster. I'm going to use Mace of the Blood Gods. You have to pay 1 life force, 1 XP. And then this is called a fate roll. Notice the 13 plus. But take a look at the damage. Plus 6 damage. And then you could add plus 8 to the spiritual warfare dice. And like I said, remember the colored dice there? You can add that to it. The combat is very simple, but there's a lot of strategy and tactics in it. So those are the spiritual warfare dice. So if we look at this, we could add 8, which is very high. That's called a warfare value. You could add that to those dice. So you can see, you're probably, whatever you're going to hit, you're probably going to hit with this, unless you had a really bad roll. But notice here at the bottom, deduct the hero's level from the D20 result. So what happens is, after you feed this thing the life force, and before you even wield it, you have to roll the D20 for a fate roll. If you get anything, well, you can deduct it, but say we rolled and you got 14, your hero's soul is instantly consumed and they perish. They have to go to the resurrection shrine in the village, and they can be resurrected. But that's the thing about underworld artifacts, and that's something I wanted to put in people's heads. Well, do you want to use life force to feed this thing, to power it up, so to speak? And then, do you want to wield it? Where, yeah, you can add plus 8 to your spiritual warfare rolls, and plus you get, 6 damage, which is a lot, but there's a chance your hero could perish. And again, the terror track will go up. See, easy stuff, but kind of cool stuff in Dungeon Crusade for just stuff to think about. And just like I said, you could dual wield these. So you could have that in your left hand, the Mace of the Blood Gods, and put the freaking Axe of the Black Angel in your other hand, and you are ready to go. So that's a little bit about underworld artifacts, but then like it said, so kind of like when it says deduct the hero's level from the D20 results. So say we rolled and you had a 13. Well, in your hero's level 1, you could deduct that. It's 12. So then you could use that to wield. So as the heroes get, as the heroes can go up to level 3 in the game, you can lower that because they're more acclimated. They're becoming better. So that's kind of, and it goes very nicely with that. So there is a little about underworld artifacts, and throw it into the comment section. I always love to what people say. Will you use an underworld artifact? And know this, that there's a shot, the blacksmith in the village, he will get new weapons in, new gear in his shop. If he ever sees a piece of junk loot or an underworld artifact, he refuses to stock it. You're going to reshuffle that back into the deck. These things are hard to get. The only way to get an underworld artifact is from a monster drop, as you kill a monster. Because there's a loot roll, a chance that the monster was carrying loot, so you can get it off a monster drop, or you could find it in a treasure chest. Those are really the only ways that you could get an underworld artifact in the game. So let me know, what do you think? Would you use it? Curious to know. Moving right along out of those evil weapons, minions in the game. So give you an example here, there's 3 minions per group. Okay, the blue, red, and green. You're going to use those bases, but notice here, I did this with so many other games like back in the day, but I carried it over to Dungeon Crusade. This is how you identify which monster, how to keep track of, who's who in the game. So like the green crystal, green base, red crystal, red base, so on and so forth. And I can tell you now, notice the blue crystal, there's that silver star. This is a normal version. Remember, this has the origin stories. Red and green with the gold stars, those are your elites. So I wanted to talk about that. Again, I'm just going to say it. I'm glad actually I took the time. I love hanging out with you. Maybe like Felicia, I know you're watching these videos, and any other new people, maybe you're really seeing what this game has to offer now. And that's, so I'm glad I took the time to do this and just hang out with you guys. Here's one of the 8 guardians. I cannot remember that other one's name for the life of me. Here's Razorfang, and then this is what I was showing you here. They can level up from level 1 to level 4. And remember those warfare types? Every monster in the game is versed in 3 of the 6 warfare types. That's you're always going to see that on all the monster cards. And it's a very unique combat system. But remember, you can play the classic combat, but now we have the new revised combat for a much quicker gameplay experience, more action-oriented, I guess you could say. So that's a little bit. There's one of the guardians. You can see their cards there. Moving right along. This is just like a shot. And this is a shot of the board. This is the ancient runes. And here's the hero card right here. Health track is on top. Essence is on the bottom. What do you use Essence for? You use Essence to cast special abilities, and it doesn't cost an action. Your heroes have 2 actions per turn, but they can burn as much Essence to use special abilities. So that's a nice feature in the game. This is just like a little shot of the game of like when you're playing. This is kind of what you could expect the game to look like. And actually, see this little pink demon skull face right there? That's a trap sigil. So sigil, I'm not sure, sigil, right? This is where you would put the trap tokens. And again, you don't have to play with traps, or you could, but that's where you'll put the trap tokens right there. And you can see there's a level 2 monster guarding this quest item, but on the reverse side, I think I just showed it for this, it's like a purple swirly. You'll never know what monster's in there. But I was appropriate for what level the monster is when you're doing quest. What I mean is, when your hero is a level 1, there's a good chance they're going to run into a level 1 monster in a chamber. There is a chance a level 2 monster could be in there, or it could be an empty chamber. So once you kill that monster, you're allowed to see if it is the quest item you're looking for. And like I said, this game has a unique quest system I developed. Quest items will change from chamber to chamber. So just because that chalice might be And I got cut off again by my recorder. But what I was saying is, this is randomly generated. So let's say your heroes were looking for the golden chalice, and that's actually a quest item in the game. It won't always be in here. It's going to be randomly generated each time you play, and so is the monster, the level of the monster, and because you're drawing from a champion monster deck, you never know what's going to be in there. So again, ultimate in replayability. Just another shot of the game, and like I said, normally in a game those would be flipped over. You would have this purple swirly thing. I thought there'd be a picture of it on that. So this is kind of just like a game setup of what you could expect it to look like. And then the key system, because you notice there's these colored bases, and this is another just cool feature of the game, that there's an onyx key, the golden key, the jade key, and ivory key. And I'm going to be honest with you, you know what inspired me with this is, well, I love dungeon games, but if you remember the Atari Adventure game, yes, for the Atari 2600, remember you had to find the black key for the black castle, the white key for the white castle, and then the gold key for the gold castle. That really was what influenced me, was Adventure. I remember playing that as a kid, and oh my god, very, very fond memories. So that's kind of what inspired me with this. But my point is that in quests, you're going to have to find certain keys to open doors. No, your barbarian cannot smash a door down. You're going to need the onyx key to open up that door at the red base. And as you can see, it's associated with colored bases, and it's a very cool, fun feature in the game. And so, you know, it may tell your heroes in the quest, okay, well, here in the ancient depths, the key, the jade key could be here, or it could be somewhere else. So your heroes are always going to have to hunt and find out where stuff is, because it's randomly generated. So just wanted to show you the key system in Dungeon Crusade. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to load up maybe one more set of photos. I hope you're liking these. Are promo posters. And we'll take a look at the Avalon Adventure board game. But guys, there's so much more I could show you. But we'll take a look at the Avalon Adventure board game, then we'll wrap this up. But again, I hope you enjoyed everything we're looking at. So give me a second, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, and we will close out our grand finale here with going over the Avalon Adventure board game. And I'd like to tell you just a few things about it. But I found these photos here. This is of, there's 4 dungeons in Dungeon Crusade, but this is Castle Blackwood. So I just thought I'd show you another shot of one of the boards here. And as you can see, there's the doors, there's no tokens in it, but so you would need the gold key to open those. Here's Mahaliak, our barbarian, with the Fetchhound Albus fighting an orc archer. And then over here is the paladin, Carrick Rowan, and Zeke Utar, the wizard, and they're combating a wraith here. And this is again in Castle Blackwood. So let us take a look at the Avalon Adventure board game, and it's good to end with this. And I've got some stuff to say, some stuff I've never said before. But this is, I created the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade in tandem. Like, these two games are really locked together. And like I've said so many times, it was important for me to create some awesome lore and world building so you guys could be immersed in all of this. The Avalon Adventure board game is a choose your own adventure. But the twist is, like I said, I love unlimited replayability. Each time you play this, everything is randomly generated again. So it's a choose your own adventure, but you'll never, even if you take the same path through Avalon, you're going to have a different outcome, okay? So before we get into it, here is the land of Avalon right here. It is very huge. It took me years to develop all this stuff and all these different locations, and of course the art is just amazing. And as a side note, I have a crappy prototype that I made that, you know, was like rough, but when Dungeon Crusade got funded, I reached out to a gentleman, incredible artist named Damien Maimolody, and I saw his art. And Damien was an artist on The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And so I didn't, it was like reaching for stars, but I emailed him a really nice letter. Hey, my name's Roger. I'm crazy. I did this game, Dungeon Crusade, on Kickstarter, and I sent him this, and I said, I'd love for you to recreate Avalon. And he got back to me, and guys, he just basically took my crappy map and then painted professionally everything. So everything really was still intact of what was on that map, but you can see it's just beautiful here with the Vile Tower, and he obsesses over detail, which is just great. And then he went on to create like paint the House of Chance games and the Tomb of Kaladar, the Village board. So huge shout out to Damien and all the artists. So that is Avalon right there. So you're going to be exploring Avalon. What do you do in the Avalon Adventure board game? Well, before that, let me tell you that it's tons of games inspired me, but if you've ever checked out those Steve Jackson games, Fighting Fantasy, and kind of like Dungeon Quest, my favorite board game of all time, those are two really big, huge inspirations in creating this. So if you like those, read and write kind of things, this is sort of what that is, but you could always replay it and you'll never know. What is the objective in the Avalon Adventure board game? You have to find the 3 runes of eternity. Notice there's green, yellow, and red. Each zone, when we get closer, you're going to take 2 of the blue ones here and like the green one, 2 blue and the yellow, 2 blue and the red. Flip them over and you shuffle them. And then you draw adventure cards, randomly 3 of them, and you place the runes in those locations in Avalon. So you can see with that system, you'll never know where you have to find the real runes to obtain victory in the Avalon Adventure board game. So with that system, they're randomly generated. Blue ones are still useful though. If you find a blue rune, you could cash those in and you could re-roll any die you want. And these can be carried over into Dungeon Crusade. So once your heroes find the 3 runes of eternity, they have to head back to Hope's Reach. Hope's Reach is up here, and then you can import your heroes into Dungeon Crusade with any loot they found, potions, gold, all of that. So hopefully that's clear, but with that system, like I said, you'll never know where the runes will show up, and we're going to get closer to the board here in a second. But these are all double-sided, and there are 259 unique battles, encounters, events, all this different stuff I wrote just for this game. I really absorbed myself in the land of Avalon. I mean, truly, I absorbed myself in this whole land. And I'm excited for you really to play this game and just see how thematic it is and what happens and characters you'll meet and factions. It's really unique, I think, and I'd like to hear your thoughts after you play it. I think you'll really enjoy it. But getting down into the board, like notice right here, like here's the adventure card for the Ancient Runes. This game, guys, there's so many great playthroughs of this game. You'll learn this game in 10 minutes. I mean, I could teach it to you in literally 10 minutes. It's very easy to learn, but there is some strategy involved that some people miss. But there is, you move from region to region or territory to territory. When you go into one, after you have a adventure there, you pull an adventure card, you put one of the red tracking tokens, okay? So there's a whole strategy with going into unexplored areas and going into explored. You always want to move into unexplored areas. And you know what? I'm not going to give any spoilers. You'll find out why. You always want to go to unexplored areas. But the strategy of this game is you have to plot your course back here to Hope's Reach. And remember, you don't want to go to explored regions. And there's a reason why. While we're here, notice the fate track. If when a hero perishes, there's this angel that will raise them up and resurrect them and give them health and essence back. But if that fate track ever reaches the skull, your heroes are lost in Avalon and they are doomed. So, but this is what I was saying about, notice like there's the green region here. You're going to take those 3 tokens you shuffled with the green rune, and whatever 3 adventure cards you pull, you're going to place them there. Randomly generated each time. Here's another one. So like if we were playing, there's one of the runes for the yellow zone or tan. So that kind of goes with that region there, and so on and so forth. So like kind of, this is a good shot. So like right here, this band right here is the red zone. Kind of all through the middle here is that yellow tan zone, and up here is the green. Does that make sense with all of the stuff with those runes? So that's how you place them. Pull 3 cards for each zone, randomly place them like I have placed here. It's just a fun little game. You can play this even as a standalone. So moving right along, there's like one of the red possible runes right there, the Cavern of Lost Souls. That's actually a dungeon in the game. And just the art that Damien did is just, how incredible is that? And there's treasure chest. If that isn't enough, there's the bronze, silver, and gold treasure chest. I'm not going to get into it here, but you're going to mix, remember we talked about all that loot? You're actually going to mix some junk loot in, and like starting out here, some common and a few green and 1 blue. So on and so forth. It goes up. So you're going to have a better chance if you find like a silver or gold of finding like a legendary or an epic. And there's a lot of treasure chests to find in the land of Avalon. So you're going to draw one of these cards. You don't reveal it till the end of the game. Maybe you found an awesome piece of loot. Maybe you found just a piece of junk loot. It's always fun to reveal what your heroes found at the end of your adventure in Avalon. Rejuvenation potions. These can be carried over into Dungeon Crusade. These are exclusive to the Avalon Adventure board game. You can drink these down at any time if your hero finds one. Regain 3 health, 3 essence. Again, guys, I hope you're enjoying going over this. When the battles break out, you're going to use the little battle board. And I think I have an outdoor location poster here too. But you're going to, the adventure card will tell you there's a battle and take out this guardian or these monsters. And then you're going to do these very simple, quick little dice battles. And it's just another part of this to immerse you more into the experience of the Avalon Adventure board game. But the reverse side is an outdoor area, and this is like a dungeon side. So depending on whatever adventure you're having, that's the side you're going to use. And I think, okay, there you go. That's the outside. So like our heroes here are facing off against 2 Blackwood Prowlers and the Skeletal Grunt. So that's a little about that. And really, guys, I'm excited for you to try this game and see what can you find, how much gold can you find in Avalon, and how much, loot can you find. And, I've been hard at work on expansion for a while now, and I'm definitely going to be building more into this game to further this experience here. And then I think there's a few more shots of Avalon. Yeah, here we are. That's actually a dungeon board, Castle Blackwood. So the heroes here. Oh, I'm sorry. The flag here represents all your heroes. You use 6 heroes when you're playing this game. And really, another game that influenced me was, if you've ever played the Might and Magic series. And actually, I'm about to play Might and Magic 7 right now. But that's just kind of like, really, the Might and Magic series was another huge influence, or even Ultima, if some of you guys know what Ultima is. This is really a throwback to those PC games, and just like when you see all your characters, definitely Might and Magic. If you've ever seen like how they have the characters there, that's really what I was thinking with this game too. Go look at Might and Magic. Play Might and Magic 7. That's the one. Don't worry about knowing the other ones. And you can find that on sale right now in GOG. So go check that one out. And then finally, here you can see the heroes here are heading down into this region here to Tomb of Emperor Sylvian, and they're going to see if they can find the yellow rune here. But really, you have no idea what's going to happen in this game. I wrote some very creative things, some funny stuff, some serious stuff. But in this game, my goal was this. I wanted to take you guys through this land to the very tops of towers, all the way to the very depths of dungeons, but quickly, so you can get into playing Dungeon Crusade. So just know you're going to go high and low over the land of Avalon, and I think you're really going to enjoy this. Whew. And guys, I think that's it. Trust me, there's more in this game I didn't tell you about, but I think you get the gist of it from all that. There's that much stuff in the game. So let's just go over all that again. Ending this up. Remember, mass production, June 26th, set in stone. That's not changing. We're doing it. We're done. Everything's verified. I want you to have this game. enjoy it so we can make more stuff together. Pledge Manager closes June 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Videos, photos. Late pledging is available. Dungeon Crusade Kickstarter update. I'm going to try to have that out tomorrow night because we run to get the word out ASAP about everything. The last of those promotions, we'll be promoting the game, running some ads, stuff like that. Games will be shipping this summer. And we already looked at the promo posters, so we'll go back to this, go back to that, and finally back to our poster. This was a mega-sized update, but again, I hope you enjoyed staying for the later half where we went over a lot of stuff in the game, and I hope it just builds your excitement more. I'm really excited for you to try this game out and just get lost in it. Get a pizza like I do at a Friday or Saturday night, put on some atmospheric music, dungeon music, and just game it up all night. That's honestly what I do. That's one of my favorite things to do. Surrounded by my fetch hounds. Alright guys, if you have any questions, let me know. There might be questions from the Underworld artifacts or whatever. Always I love chatting with you. I'm going to get back to work here, but I'd like to play Might and Magic 7 to be honest with you. So maybe I'll roll my characters and get that going. But definitely check out that game. It's on GOG right now. It's stupid ridiculously. They're having their summer sale. It's like $2.49. And it's one of the best Might and Magic games. If you like this game, you're going to love Might and Magic. Very retro. Just know it's an older game, but I love old retro games. Alright, I'll love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your friendship. And I will be seeing you in the Kickstarter video update, that version of that. So I'll get that for you. All right, everyone, have a great Sunday, an awesome weekend. Happy gaming, stay safe, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.